Alright, so the things that have been changed on the front end to deal with Death Wobble. Brand new tie rod that was done maybe a year ago from now. The drag link, the flip kit, all the ball joints were done, brakes all around, and then lower control arms. I did those. That's pretty much squared that up. The problem with Death Wobble is it's not just one thing. I made a video about the tie rod. That saying was gonna fix it. That helped, but it didn't fix it 100%. And I know that a lot of Jeep owners deal with it, so it's more of like a trial and error. Like, where are your bad parts, where are your good parts? I know that I had one bad ball joint. I bought 4 of them. They're all Synergy. So Synergy ball joints, tie rod, and drag link, and then a flip kit. And then for the track bar relocation bracket. So everything except for the track bar bracket has basically been changed on the front end. That's basically tightened up the steering. It drives straight. So I think other than all of those parts being new, it's the steering itself that is now the weak part. So the steering rack and the steering box. I've never done a power steering flush, at least since I've owned the Jeep. So I'll probably do that just as like a good measure, but let's show you the parts, show you what's done. Oh, and a new steering stabilizer and the relocation for that, also from Synergy. I got the clamp on Craigslist, so that was a good deal. But let's check them out. Alright, so now you've seen everything, and then I'll go over the invoice for everything that was done, because I didn't do that work. And we'll hit a couple bumps here. Like I said, it drives way more solid up front, especially after I did the lower control arms. That definitely helped. The reason I haven't been doing a whole lot of work on my own Jeep lately is because I don't have access to a garage and that many tools. My parents moved out of the state, and so that was pretty much my access to all that stuff. So it's kind of difficult doing it in an apartment complex, but some of the smaller things I can definitely do. But if you're having issues with Death Wobble, get it assessed. Like, find out what parts are bad, because it's more than likely gonna be more than one thing. It's not just gonna be one fix, like I thought it was for the tie rod, and that just wasn't the case. It was like a band-aid, you know? And so is like the steering stabilizer. So do the work, put in the time, figure it out, or you're just gonna be running in circles trying to chase the fix, you know. And it's gonna cost a little bit of money, but it's gonna be worth it. Like, I didn't want to put stock parts back on because I knew that I probably wasn't gonna take the big tires off. I was always gonna have those, at least while I owned it. So if I was gonna make sure that I didn't have to do it again, I was gonna get parts that were gonna be super reliable and over-engineered, basically. And Synergy was that option. So like I said, Synergy ball joints, Synergy tie rod, Synergy drag link, and then the Synergy relocation kit for the track bar, and then the relocation clamp for the steering stabilizer. So it drives a lot better than it did. So if you're having issues with it, check it out, you know, figure it out, what's going on, what's bad. I thought it was the tie rod. My tie rod was bad, and then it was a ball joint, and then it was this, and it was that. So for me, it was more or less trial and error. It wasn't just like, found the problem, fix it, done. So, and if you've ever experienced it, that's a really, like, not fun at all. Because the entire Jeep shakes, like, violently. that squeak you're probably hearing is the clutch. Not the clutch itself, just the pedal. I don't know, it's always been squeaky. Maybe some grease or something, but yeah, like, it drives straight. Like, no hands, it goes straight down the highway. When I push on the brake, it doesn't pull. The brakes, on the other hand, those are awesome. They were not stock. When I had the ball joints done and the axle seals in the front axle, they did brakes all around, and it was the Power Stop brake kit. So better brake pads, and then they replaced all of the rotors with slotted and drilled ones. So the brakes are way better than they were stock. So if you're considering doing a brake upgrade, I highly recommend them. Yeah, it's driving great. I had a check engine light on yesterday. It went off. It was for a P0128. It was a thermostat. There's some bumps, nothing. It's thermostat rationality, but it went off. I don't know, maybe it's the cold weather or something, but it warmed up and it went away. And then low tire pressure thing, but I don't fully inflate my tires because it's really stiff. The shocks that I got came with the lift kit aren't exactly soft. They're pretty stiff. They're the 9550s from TerraFlex. They're not bad if you're gonna buy the kit, but I would probably get different ones in the future. But yeah, there's a lot of components that go into Death Wobble, and it's a pain in the ass to deal with. So I got to the end, I fixed it. It drives great. It drives straight down the road, and there's so many things that you have to check to go through to get to that end point, to figure out, okay, I no longer have Death Wobble. So if you're having it, I hope this helps. I hope this helps you get to where you need to be. It definitely cost me probably over $2,000 for all the parts and some of the labor for some of the bigger things, but yeah, so that's the update on the Death Wobble. I know I posted that video before about the tie rod. That definitely is a key component. So if you have any questions or any comments about anything, leave them down below. I want to know about what you've figured out with your Death Wobble, things that have worked for you. You know, it seems like everyone has their own way of dealing with it. And there's a lot of forums and like the local Colorado groups that'll just, you know, there's a bunch of people and they're like, oh, I got a new steering stabilizer, like it's gonna fix that Death Wobble, and that's not the case. That doesn't do anything for you. So that's it for today. Death Wobble 101. I hope it was had enough information in there for you, but like I said, if you have any questions or comments or anything else about Death Wobble, leave them in the comments below. And then I don't know, we'll do a clean video next time, or no, I'll probably do that. I gotta order those lower control arms for the rear. All right, enough rambling. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a good one.